What up? It is A2thaShow,
Hey,
joined by Soko
A2thaShow. What up?
this time.
Southern Com4rt, Graveyard Entertainment. What's going on?
We're gonna see. We had to scrap a whole bunch of stuff. You know, the first time doing a call in, we knew it was gonna fuck up, but I feel like it's good that way.
Hey,
It's good that way.
what can go wrong will go wrong. We just prepare for the worst, and then we just make it happen. That's what we do.
And I have to say, looking at my picture, you know, like in the video or whatever, I got these new lights that like light up my face, but they have a setting that's like orange. And so it's made me look not so pale. And I'm like, I look totally different this episode than previous episodes, all because these orange lights that are on me. So
Hey, I got my lighting set up
showtime.
too. I'm gonna experiment with changing the color of my lighting, maybe when we play music or
Right.
for different segments. I'm gonna see how that work out. Hopefully it don't suck too bad. But I tried to set my lighting up and, you know, get a decent background. Nothing fancy, but I didn't want it to be too shabby.
Yeah, I been testing mine out. I have a video game Let's Play series coming. Me playing College Football 26. There's six parts, so it's a lot of fucking content. But during that, I was testing out these lights, and I had like one was one color and one was the other. And so, but I was like, that's cool, but also it looks kind of weird. So, you know, I'll figure it out though. I'm no content creator, or I mean, I guess I am technically, but you know, we're
we working through it.
we're old.
It's not gonna be the picture perfect, you know, setup production wise starting out with, but all we can do is get better.
That's right.
As far as I'm concerned.
And even after doing this recording of the college football game, I have decided like I should just stream to Twitch, even if I have no viewers. I mean, I'm already fucking playing it and recording my gameplay. I might as well do it. It's just,
at that point?
to me, I would feel weird. And again, who cares on this? But I'm like, what if I pause and just leave? Or like, what if I don't realize there's people in the chat? And there probably won't be, to be honest, you know, so, but we might work on this if I somehow carve out any more time. But I have no time these days. Doing even a shorter podcast, which I asked you before we scrapped all that, how you're liking the new pod. And it has shrank in time considerably. And you would think that's less work, but I just keep filling up the time with more creative endeavors, it seems.
Yeah, and you're putting out more, you know, more content per week, just shorter. So as a fan, it works out good for me. I like that because I get to see episodes at times I wouldn't normally see them. It's
Right.
like a surprise. It's like, hey, another podcast in the same week. You know what I mean? Like it, as a fan of somebody who's listening to them, it works for me.
Yeah, I did two a week the first 2 weeks just to kind of build up some content, and I would do it again. I'm not against doing 2 a week. I just need songs from people. You know, we're not, because I wasn't taking submissions for the last 7 months, and when people would send me stuff, I'd be like, the podcast is over. You know, that shit's just dried up a little bit, and I can always play Graveyard stuff in mine, and you know, we have H2, Brad, some other people, so we can always make it work. I just don't want to burn through everyone's music and then have nothing, you know. So I'm kind of pace a little bit, but I don't mind doing the 2 a week. You know, I can handle it, if you will. You know, it's just 2 hours of stuff.
Nah, it's been dope. Like I said, I've been enjoying it. It's been helping me keep up with certain current events that I probably would not hear about or really know about if I didn't hear them on your podcast or on the different podcasts that I listen to. So it helps me keep up with stuff. I don't watch the 6 o'clock news like that. So I miss a lot of shit. And then when I hear about it, I'm like, oh, that happened for real? Because, you know, the way the news shit work nowadays, by the time you hear about it, 12 other things have happened that are more important. So
yeah, and you said the 6 o'clock
about it late, it's almost like it never happened.
Yeah, the 6 o'clock news is like 3 or 4 days behind even these days, which is crazy. Like,
sure.
You know, like the internet's just so much faster, you know, where you hear all these crazy shit, and then you can't even believe everything. And that's a thing I think I have to get through to my wife. Not that she does, but I think she judges me because I read so much news that I'm like, I'm always just saying like, oh, and they said this and they say that. That doesn't mean I believe it. You know what I mean? I'm just like relaying information that the man is saying out there.
Information.
Yeah. You
process the information and then you decide if you believe it or not. That's all.
But I do like knowing all the stuff. That is always fun. Now, one thing happening in the news, and I mean, might as well say it just straight off the top. This US versus UK rapper debate is some fucking dumbest shit I've ever heard in hip hop music.
Dumbest shit in the world.
And I mean, I understand I'm technically a US rapper. You know, I don't think white guys count. I don't think we're being argued in this. Well, I guess Eminem's been brought into it, so I guess he is. But yeah, it's like, I hate UK rappers. I've liked one in my whole life. This dude named Chip that was signed to T.I.'s record label, and he had a song called Pizza Boy, and I liked that one song. Outside of that, I don't think I've ever heard a UK rapper that I like. I'm not even trying to be mean about it because I understand many people don't like my music. Sometimes you just don't vibe to a voice or a flow or whatever. But they all have the same flow and basically the same voice. And so I'm just like, that just isn't for me. I cannot get into it.
Wait, and it's so much the same. And, you know, maybe it's because we're over here and they're over there. But it's so much the same to me that I'm like, why are we even trying to compare the two?
Right.
Like, to me, it's like saying, all right, well, who's better, the rock or the country? It's like, it's fucking rock and it's fucking country. Like,
yeah, these are different
you
genres.
Like one, or you like both, or you don't. Like, I don't see how you can get the best out of those two. Because to me, I don't know. They just feel like two different forms of music almost in a way. Like, I get they both rapping, but their shit is so much like their shit, and our shit, it's so many different levels to US rap. Like, to me, their rap just sounds about all the same. Like, they're just their own shit. Like, I don't see why there needs to be a comparison.
If I have to defend them for a moment, because you always play devil's advocate, I do think if their argument was like under 25, we have, you know, the age 25, our under 25 guys are more lyrical. I could even maybe say an argument because modern hip hop has gotten to where it's just pop music. You know, like they're not really, there's not that many words in a hip hop song, you know, from younger artists these days. And I think a lot of us US fans, we're arguing that like the old heads are the best lyricists because they are. And we're like, yeah, but they're not as good as this 40-year-old. And you're like, yeah, they're not arguing that. They're arguing about the come up. And if that's their argument, then I understand a little bit.
Maybe their young guys are better than our young guys.
Yeah.
I don't care. And
I would still argue that America has young guys that are better. They don't get the shine. You know what I mean? Like they're just not popular.
And, like, an American rapper is more likely to resonate overseas than an overseas rapper is to resonate over here. So I feel like that gives us the advantage off top. Like, if we're going to be more popular in both places, like, how do we lose?
Yeah, I agree. I mean, and we're the goal. I mean, they all want to blow up. It's what was that British singer? He had that movie come out sometime within the last year. It might be when the podcast was out, but there was some movie, and I cannot remember the guy's name, but he's, I guess, a famous singer. Like he's like a Ricky Martin type, but in Britain, and he was really famous there. And they put out a movie where he was a Pixar looking monkey, and they were like, "Oh, this movie's gonna be huge," and it bombed. And then people were like, "What? They don't know Robbie Robertson or whatever the fuck his name was?" And people are like, "No, we've never heard of this guy once in our lives." And so like the British people are online like, "What? How dare they disrespect us?" And you're like, "We've just never heard of him."
Robbie Robertson.
Yeah, I don't remember what it is. It's something
Sorry,
like
brother.
that. Yeah.
Sorry, bruv. We don't know you.
Go get me some water. I just can't get over how, and this is so
beans on toast.
Us bringing up a British thing there, and then from last, you know, my previous podcast, which I am just considering like the previous season of this. One thing we brought up a long time ago was Usher, and I said something crazy to the extent of like, I don't think my wife would cheat on me with Usher. Because, you know, Usher was trying to fuck all these bitches. And I brought this up to my wife before, and she agrees with me. But then we were talking about her going to London or something. I was like, well, you would totally cheat on me with someone in London. She's like, that is where you'd have to worry. So, you know, it's just, she's one of those British.
Downton Abbeys.
Yeah, she's one of those British loving.
Downton Abbeys, man.
Every goddamn British show that exists. She's like, let's get the Brit box. We're going to what? You know, so that is what I would have to.
You got to watch out for those fucking Brits, man. I can believe that. Now, I will give them that. Like, their accents, they're fucking sexy. Like, no homo. Pause, whatever you say, but they got some sexy fucking accents.
Well,
I'll give them that.
I don't know. See, I guess a lot of people do put stuff in accents. It's never bothered me one way or the other. I guess because I'm from a southern ass place that's like fucking people have crazy accents, and you're like, well, we'll just overlook that. But you know, I think like a British lady's accent can rather be the scariest or sexy. You know what I mean? It's gonna go like one way or the other.
You know what? And I may sound gay for this, so be it. But when I was talking sexy, I meant the men.
I knew it.
I think the men have sexy down when it comes to accent, or that they have a better chance of sounding sexy than the women.
Right.
The women British accent, I ain't gonna lie, kind of annoys me.
Something I argue with my wife all the time, and she kind of hates it. But I've read this thing, and I don't know how accurate it is, but I believe it because I read it. You know, and that's how doing your own research works. That whenever America was founded, British people did not sound the way they do now. They sounded closer to American Southern people. And they talked a little faster, but basically sound like American Southern people. And then over time, because they wanted to seem fancier than America, and because they were like colonizing the world, they basically invented this rich fucking accent. And then now they do it to sound, or they did it to sound fancy then, but now it is how they talk. But back like 300 years ago, they didn't talk like that. And my wife just does not believe me. She refuses to believe me. And I'm like, I understand. I didn't do the research. I just read this somewhere. But why is this so hard to believe? So we just have this argument all the time.
That makes perfect sense to me because it makes more sense than we came from Britain talking like that, got over here and somehow completely lost it.
Right. I agree.
And like ended up with a whole bunch of other different dialects and like slangs and languages from north to south, east to west. Like it makes way more sense that we never sounded like that coming to America, in my opinion.
Right.
Like it shit makes sense to me.
So yeah, who knows what that's all about, but that was interesting. And then
shout out to the Brits, man.
Yeah.
If you from overseas and you listen, we appreciate you. We're not trying to shit on you rapping or anything like that. I think y'all do what y'all do. People,
if I be honest, I bet there's underground British rappers that I would think are awesome. It's just all of the ones that have broke over here. Like Skepta's is a known person.
You had one on Internet Friends, right? One there British rapper on Internet Friends.
Yeah,
Charlie
J. And if I had to be honest, I probably handled Charlie J a little wrongly. I mean, I have a lot of regrets throughout life. But, if you can't take my humor or whatever, it is what it is. But he sent me something and was basically like, hey, I wanted you to get on this song, and whatever type it was, he was like, because these are all the type of stuff you do. And it was something like I didn't do. You know what I mean? And so like there was something about it being like, well, you don't listen to my music.
Like, do you even listen?
Yeah. And so I kind of got butthurt a little bit. And then I was like, fuck him. He ain't being.
It happens.
Yeah. But we did a couple songs and Charlie J was great. He was from Wales, actually, which is one of the four countries of the United Kingdom. If I believe, I try to keep up with the United Kingdom stuff because my wife cares, but sometimes it's beyond me a little bit.
Well, look, I'm gonna go ahead and throw his name in the hat for the best underground rapper in the UK. You heard it here first.
There you go,
Charlie J.
There you go. Let's see. Oh, anything happened in the last 7 months or however long it's been since you've been on here that you're just like, God, like, I know the Diddy thing happened. It like happened and is done with in that whole time. And I thought the ending kind of made sense for me, like he, I think every person at those parties, or not every, but most of them seem to be into it. And if there were people that were being forced to, they didn't show evidence that these people were being forced to. And so that's just how the court works. I don't know. I didn't think it was that crazy. And it's another example of like the state trying to throw the book at someone and then failing. This happens a lot, and it might have been on purpose if it was like he's part of the government's plan or whatever. Instead of just going for like the guaranteed things they could have done.
Wasn't his federal? Or was his a state case? His was a federal
I believe
case.
It was federal. I believe it was
get him for trafficking.
They were trying to get him like in a RICO with it or whatever, like racketeering and shit.
Yeah.
So yeah.
And see, it does definitely feel like I do feel like most people who wanted him to be guilty for beating up Cassie and not for the shit they were actually charging him with.
They weren't. That's the thing. Other people said they'll be like, "Well, we saw the video," and it's like they weren't charging him for that. I understand like the law is hard, but that's just how it is. I don't know. And then I personally still believe he was just like the rich black version of Epstein. You know what I mean? I think they were like, this is how we get the black celebrities. We'll get them on camera doing this shit, and then if they ever want to go against us, we're like, we're gonna leak this video of Beyonce getting a train ran on her. If you don't fucking go along with us, it just makes sense to me. And so, also, there's all this stuff. I was explaining to my wife the other day because she didn't know about like Ashanti and stuff, and I was explaining how like there's all this. There's like a lot of weird pedophilia in the rap in the 90s, like where it was like a lot of young R&B singers and older rappers were hooking up with them. And it's like cool because they're famous. But when you start looking at ages, you're like, what the fuck? Whatever. Maybe Aaliyah's what I meant, not Ashanti.
And that just transfers to Hollywood in general. Right. Like the music industry is just an extension of Hollywood, and it's all perverted, man. Like children go in and abuse victims come out. Even the ones that we don't think of as abuse victims. Like there's a lot of young Hollywood actresses that wouldn't say they were victims, but you look and they're like, at 17, we're dating a 32-year-old director or what, you know what I mean? Like that stuff just happens so often that that's not even the predator part. You know what I mean? Like that's the normal stuff. I forget her actual name, but Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz, like she had like a being passed around Hollywood story.
She was older in her life, Judy
normal.
Garland. Yeah, she gave interviews about like how her and her mom would show up, and her mom would go to one office and they would send her to another. And early on, I think it's implied her mom was fucking all these people when she was real young to get her the roles. But yeah, then later, I think she had to take on that responsibility if she wanted to be in roles or whatever. So yeah, it was fun.
Yeah, they were,
for sure.
They were bagging Judy up too. It was sad. She was young as shit.
Yeah.
And it sucks, man. Like, finally during our adulthood, they're actually like, at least they're now saying it's wrong. Like, I still feel like it's happening, but to a lesser degree. But I feel like back before us and like when we were kids, like they weren't even calling it wrong. Like it was just part of the deal.
Yeah.
So at least now they're saying it's wrong. So like it's one step closer. Like, it's not like people still aren't doing it, because I believe that shit is going on as much as ever. But now people are scared of getting caught, and, you know, it's a lot easier to report it and be believed about it and shit like that. So it's one step closer to hopefully stopping it, because I'm with you, like the talks we used to have that, like, it's just fucked up that, like, being a pedophile or child trafficking isn't looked at as the top tier of fucked up shit. That, like, they put other shit above it as, no, we need to stop abortions. It's like, it's literally kids that are already born being fucked up that I feel like y'all can stop. Like, I feel like y'all can have the access to really put an end to some of this shit, and you just don't put the thought or the money behind it because it's enough powerful people doing it that it doesn't make sense to put that kind of effort into it.
Yeah, I mean, you can look at their jail times.
Or they put the effort into it and it gets stopped.
I think, like, the jail times for molesting a kid's like 2 years or so. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so low that you're like,
and
this
then
is
drugs is like way up there.
Right.
You know? It's just fucked up. But we've talked about that before, man. Go back, listen to other seasons of the pod if you really want to hear some of our in-depth thoughts about some of this shit. Like, me and Mo get deep.
Yeah, it's
same with Skinny too.
I think really, because I've been thinking about this with the Epstein stuff, right? Because obviously they're not releasing at the time of us recording. They haven't released any Epstein information. That's going back and forth. I do enjoy kind of the way it's been handled with Trump turning his back on it, because it shows all of the like people that like cared about that. It's like, oh, Trump actually never cared. You know what I mean? Like, he was just bullshit.
Like, whatever.
Like, there's something about that's fun. But the argument seems to be like, no, it's okay that they done it to these 16-year-old girls because it needed to happen for national security or whatever their fucking argument is, right? Or whatever, however they're trying to spin this. But it's like, is it because they're six? Like, how young do they have to be until, like, if the Epstein thing was about 8-year-olds, would that be too crazy? And then you like have to? Is it because they were 16 and like girls that were convinced, like these dumb blonde young girls were talked into it, so it's not as bad? I don't know. Like, I am curious. I mean, we all think it's bad, and then you're saying like how it was before to now.
It's the they knew what they were doing effect. I think too, because my wife is one of those who, not saying she's on the side of the pedophile, but I'll use the R. Kelly example. Like, I'll be like, it's fucked up what he did to their young girls. And my wife will be like, those bitches knew what they were doing.
Right.
And I'm like, I get it, but, you know, at some point you gotta put more to earnest on the adult. But it's a lot of women who feel the way my wife feels, which is, I know women, I know girls, they wanted it, they got what they wanted, he don't need to be in jail. And I might feel like he don't need to be in jail too, or at least not for as long as he is. I still bump his music, don't know him personally, but I've always enjoyed R. Kelly music. That's my last talk about
I'm going to watch Trapped in the Closet.
I mean, how could you not watch all 39 parts?
Yeah.
It's a captivating story. They need to bring that shit to Hulu.
Yeah, but I do think there is something there. Like, you know, I think that's like a weird area to talk about, but there is something about the like 16 to 18, whatever that little that weird area is where there are girls probably trying to hook up with older guys and fuck their lives if they have to, you know, and then there's guys like when we were younger, like we're saying, like when we were high school age, there was adult men in my town trying to fuck the teenager, and were, you know what I mean? Like that was kind of common. It's like, well, if they're at least 15 or 16, that's fine. Like, there was that sort of idea where I do think now we're getting out of that, but it has went too far the other way. I saw a story the other day that one of those predator catching videos, a group of 18-year-olds pretended to be an 18-year-old girl and attracted a 24-year-old man and then like jumped him, and they were calling him a pedophile. And it's like, well, he thought the person was 18. Like, what are y'all talking? So I do think it's going to go the other way and fuck up, but I don't know, something's happening.
It usually does. Like, usually when we go in the right direction, we end up going way too far right and go off the road.
Yeah.
Like, that shit, it rarely works out just right where it's like, okay, we're the right amount of concern. We're just the right amount of let's get this shit over with. Like it usually goes a little too far.
Right. It's the pendulum, if you will. Just that's how it goes. All right.
Swings.
I had one thing. I knew we would go a little long with you, so every segment will be slightly longer than normal for everyone out there. But y'all already know if you're watching this.
My wife already made the comment. Oh, you gonna be out there for hours?
Well, I know. I was
like, maybe.
Same
with
mine.
I don't fucking know.
Well, I warned mom this morning, and I said, I've been trying to keep these hour 15, but every time Soka's ever called in and we've gone long, so it might be about 2 hours. And so she said, well, we'll see.
It's tough, man.
She thinks it'll be longer, but I was like, we'll keep it to 2 hours. But the last guy I had to talk
Speaking
to.
of wife, mine walking over.
I just had to wait till you were on here to talk about this, and it's something that really entertains me at my job. And I don't like talking about my day job much, but I work with someone who has a black son-in-law. All right, so this is a woman who has a daughter who's married to a black man. She's white. And so through this, she's like become exposed to black culture or whatever. And then she's learned she's learned who Skinny is. And then I have a black friend that she knows of, and she'll ask me questions about black people. And I believe it's all in like an innocent, good way, right? I don't think she's coming at any of this racist, but there are times stuff comes across that way. And I was like, I got to bring this up with Soko. But her son-in-law is like a farmer black guy, right? So he is black, but he like works on a farm, drives country black. And so what she'll do, and I've watched her talk about him to many other older white ladies, and she'll be like, oh, my son-in-law is black, but he's the whitest black guy I know. He's such a good guy and good with his children. So he's a good father.
It's so racist.
And then me, and then there's two kids, there's two like college age kids that are younger than me. And every time we all look at each other, we die laughing, right? And we're like, oh my God, you can't say that. And then we called her out in the middle of we were having a big meeting with like a retirement party with like 30 other older ladies. And she said that. And we we're like, listen, that is racist. So we did explain it to her. But then even after us explaining it, a black woman,
she didn't get it,
comes into our office, has to get like an ID picture or something. And then I think what my coworker's trying to do is be like, I have a black relative. Maybe this black woman's related to my black relative. But instead she's like, I have a black son-in-law. He's the whitest black guy I've ever met. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? And again, he's such a good father. And it's like, she doesn't understand. She's saying like, to her, black people wouldn't be a good father, wouldn't, it's like she can't.
Even if she don't mean it, that's how it makes it sound.
It's like she can't see that part. Like I don't know. It blows my mind. I've heard this like 5 or 6 times.
There's a Venn diagram between like outright racist and just like good intentions, where like when they intersect, you just look racist,
right? And I'm like,
because she probably has the best of intention, because she's complimenting dude, like she's saying good things about him, but you can't say good things about somebody and say for a black guy, for a Mexican guy,
right?
For you know what I mean, like oh man, yeah, Mo is not ugly for a white guy. All right, I'm calling all white guys ugly.
But honestly,
and saying Mo's a handsome.
And that's the only thing I can compare it to is honestly, it wouldn't affect me if it went the other way, because I have been called an NID by my black friends for many years. Y'all can figure out the acronym. In disguise are the last two, and there'll be things like that, like, God, you're just like a black person because of this, and they are all. And I am always like, that's funny, it's whatever. But it's like they're not using like morally good things, like he's a good father, right. Like it puts it in like a different area when it's like no everyone has good fathers
spin.
And good.
It's a weird spin.
Yeah, and again, I think she's trying. If I have to give her more benefit of the doubt, it's like she doesn't want them to be racist towards her daughter, so she's like getting ahead of it and being like, no, she chose a good one. I don't know, like
you don't understand.
Yeah, I don't know. It's like
I know this bad guy, like. Instead of him being because you can say that about any man, right. Period, in your daughter.
Right. You could be like she's with this person. He's a good man. We don't have to even say his race.
Yeah. He doesn't beat women. He doesn't cheat. Like you can say all that generically, and it still defends like your daughter's mate or whatever. But like once you bring it to race, like I said, it just makes you look away and sound away, even if you don't mean to.
Yeah. So anyway, I've been waiting to tell you, because I know you have told, we talked on here before, how you've had that, like, people being like, if you're like a good person, they're like, you're a white black guy or whatever. And you're like, what the fuck? You know, it's so weird, because it's like, I know so many fucked up white people.
Why can't you just be a good person?
I don't think y'all understand.
Yeah, like you don't have to narrow it down to like bad people are have color pigment. Good people don't. Like, no, but it's not how it works.
I've said this many a times. I do think it seems like a sort of like woke era thing to say, but it's like in general. And I know I've met way more white people than minorities, but like if the percentage wise of like minorities that I seem to like or like me are way higher than the percentage of the white people I've met that I like or like me. You know what I mean? Like, so that's where I'm like, I think I kind of lean towards the minority side, but I understand I have not been in like where you live, for instance, and like I would meet every single person, you know, then in that case, it'd probably go the other, the other way. It just,
where it's majority of the minority kind of thing.
Yeah. It's just people suck. And so you meet a lot of white people and most people suck. So I'm like, oh, well, these white people are fucking assholes or whatever. And I do think black people try to be nice to white people. Maybe not all, but here, I think there's like, they're going to be polite up the front. And because I'm a nice person, we all go good. Where maybe it goes the other way. They're not some people. Someone's an asshole, then they swear. I don't know. I don't know how the fucking race dynamics go. I try to not really worry about it. I understand not seeing color as racist of itself these days, but I truly live my life where like I do not consider someone's race and how I'm going to interact with them. It just doesn't come into play.
Yeah. I think that's a good way to play it. Like I'm generally, nice to anybody until they give me a reason not to be. Like, there's no reason not to be that way, in my opinion.
If anything,
but real quick,
I'm prejudiced towards old people. Fucking idiots. Yeah, what's up?
I was just gonna say, like, on that same topic, I go to a mostly white church, and a funny thing happened maybe a month or two ago. Like, we had some after service stuff, and they were in the back, and somebody had bought a bunch of watermelons that they were cutting up to give to everybody. And I don't eat watermelon. And hardly anybody in my house does. So when they were like, "Hey, man, make sure you get you some watermelon," I was like, "No, I'm good. I don't eat watermelon." That should have been the end of it, right? Yeah. I don't want any. I don't eat it. But like multiple people had to say, "You sure? You don't eat watermelon?" And it's like, no, motherfucker, I don't. I get it. I'm black. A lot of black people around here do. I've never liked them. Never have. Never will. And I mean it when I say I'm good. I don't want a giant watermelon because I'm literally not going to eat it. Nobody in my house is going to eat it. Just don't act so shocked. That's all I'm saying.
Speaking of watermelon.
But they didn't mean anything by it. It was just, It was a general. I think they meant it as, we like watermelon so much, we can't believe you don't.
That's how I am.
It just came across weird.
I'm that way as well.
To double say it.
And so when we were,
I think that's
me and Skinny were watching the NBA Finals, and I'd gotten this awesome watermelon, but I never eat them all, so I had this plate. I was like, I cut them up in like these long rectangles, like the pieces, and then I put them in like a Tupperware thing, and it was way better in like fucking shape. So I didn't understand that. I don't know how, but it just tasted delicious, and it was probably a good watermelon. And so I offered Skinny some, and he was the same way, like, I don't eat watermelon. But in my mind, I was like, I wonder if he doesn't, because like of years and years of people being like, "Oh, I bet you love watermelon."
You have to.
Yeah, so
you don't have a choice.
Me and Blackout, his homie, we ate the fuck out of the watermelon, and Skinny sat there and didn't eat any of it. So, yeah, I just think that sucks. That. Well, not sucks, but just like the black stereotypes, like, hey, what's the most delicious food? Yeah, they eat that. You know what I mean? It's like fried chicken, watermelon, orange soda, grape drink, all the shit that's delicious. And they'll be like, yeah, black stuff. And you're like, okay, I guess. And then, of course, we mentioned many times.
Like a lot more people like
on the internet, there's these like growing up black accounts, and almost all of them do fit with me and most people I know, because it's really growing up poor is what the account should be named. But so sometimes those things get like,
for sure,
those get crossed over sometimes. But all right, we got to play some music around here. That's half the reason we're here.
Yeah.
And
and you won't be able to see me just yet, but I do have on, and don't be confused, audience, I do have on a podcast with Mo shirt. I don't have an A2thaShow shirt just yet, but eventually I'll have one of those. So just so nobody gets confused.
Well, I'm glad
I'm
glad you're saying that. I actually was thinking about the t-shirt and making one, and all that, having those available. My only issue is the rays I have coming out of the like logo. I feel like those will peel off really quickly on a shirt. So like maybe I should just cut it down to just the triangle with the eye, you know what I mean, and leave out the rays. But that's stuff like I'm debating at the moment. So well, y'all let me know out there.
These are things you must think about.
Yeah, because I really liked the season 2 shirt, but I know Snappy's fell apart like within 2 washes. So I was like, oh well, maybe it wasn't as good as I thought. As far as so, who knows? But all right, we're playing a song here. Let me see if I got my camera thing set up. So we're going with Sir Nasty off of his new album, I Still Got Problems, which is one of my favorite Sir Nasty albums. And I know I said every time, but I just feel like they just keep getting better. You know, what can I say?
Hey, nothing wrong with that. I dig it as well.
And the name of this song we're going here is called My Shit Cold. Let's give it a listen.
Let's go.
Woo! Shit! It's cold in a motherfucker. Y'all niggas better bundle up. I've been smoking weed for years. I got a smoker's cough. All my homegirls will tell you they brother raw. Young nigga, I'm cut from another cloth. Your mama reached between the legs and took the rubber off. What the fuck? She didn't get pregnant, blame it on luck, bitch. I got some young bitches that I fuck with. I got some young bitches I get up with. And they just wanna smoke weed and suck dick. And they will leave you bloody cutty. Horror music nigga, yeah, Chucky my buddy. These niggas so fuddy-duddy. Room full of scientists, my brain should be studied. Oak Muggy River, nigga, waters get muddy. I'm OG, young nigga, you still wearing Huggies. I hit them from the back, and I hit them with the Dougie. I take a pretty bitch home and fuck her till she ugly. Fuck with me. Who you calling old, boy? You ain't heard my shit cold, boy. You ain't heard my shit cold, boy. You ain't heard my shit cold, boy. My shit cold like frozen meat. Hit him with the heat and told him go to sleep. Riding in my Jeep with a meat eater. What the fuck? Boy, that pussy warm like a seat heater. What the fuck? Thick chicks is what I like to hit. I do. She got a man, she ain't shit, but I like the bitch. I do. Yeah, werewolf flow, I'm a liking bitch. Had a biting on my ear, Mike Tyson shit. I got a lil' mommy, and she thick as fuck. Them hoes ain't rapping about shit, man, them bitches suck. I let them know, killer. She sitting on my dick like she on a 4-wheeler. I got 4 glorrillas, fuck them like a gorilla. I told my youngin' don't be falling for these hoes, nigga. Got your bitch in my phone playing with a rose, nigga. Tell that young boy keep your mouth closed, nigga. I'm a cold nigga. Who you calling old, boy? You ain't heard my shit cold, boy. You ain't heard my shit cold, boy. You ain't heard my shit cold, boy.
My shit cold.
Hey, Sir Nasty. A2thaMo makes beats. His shit cold.
That's right.
Let's go.
Always loving Sir Nasty. Always bringing it. Guarantee that.
All day, every day.
So what's Sir Nasty up to? Y'all's how's Graveyard? All the people, haven't talked to anybody, of course.
We doing well, man. Since the last time we all chopped it up together, a couple albums came out. That's always fun, getting new music out. He's working right now on the 3rd and final installment of the Problems series. So he started out with I Got Problems. We released that last year. I Still Got Problems. That's what you just played from. That released a little bit earlier this year. Last month to be exact, June, Friday the 13th. You know how that goes. And eventually he'll finish I'm working on my problems, or I'm dealing with my problems. Something like that. I can't remember the exact title, but he said that one is pretty much done. I think he's in the mixing phase. He'll be getting that sent. Of course, A2thaMo Makes Beats production will be on it. I don't know how much of it, but I have been told that the production is there.
Nice. And
that you will be a part of that project as well. Don't know if any of the collabs are going to be on it. I know he's been real pleased with some of the collab stuff and that we've been doing all together. So he may he may want to put some of that stuff on there. Not sure if it's gonna fit.
Right.
But that's pretty much what's been going on. I've been slowly working on things here and there.
Yeah, I've been working on music super slow. I feel like a complete failure. I haven't made a beat in 13 days, a new one, which I understand, like, who cares?
I'm with you.
I've made 1,200 beats or something like that, but still, I feel like I'm falling behind.
And I think I got like 30% of those. So I feel like as much of a failure as you feel like, I feel like just as much of a failure because I have so many of them that I have not already, executed recordings to, that every now and then I look at myself in the mirror and I'm like, you suck, man.
Yeah.
And that's all I can say.
I also need to do vocal stuff as well. I haven't recorded anything like that in a while. I have 2 collabs people have sent me that I honestly completely forget about, and then once a week I'm like, oh shit, Corey and H2 both wanted me to do a verse, and then I forget within like an hour. I don't know. I got 2 from H2 that I finally wrote to. When you sent me the last 2 collab ones, I wrote to yours, and I was like, while I'm in the right mood, let me go ahead and write to the H2 ones. So I got 4 songs written that I know I need to record and get out to people. And it's just, sometimes it's tough. Yeah. And for me, it's the heat thing too. Like it's so hot out here. Like one of the things that I'm hoping doesn't come through in the video is how bad I may end up sweating. And I'm hoping that me having fans on don't mess up the audio part. But like, I know it's got to be every bit of 90 degrees out here. Oh yeah, that does suck. So we'll try to.
It's fucking miserable.
Not go too long. Now we were supposed to.
Oh no, I ain't worried about that part of it. I was prepared to be, a little hot. Right. But just because it's on video, it's a little different. Cause hell, I was always out here for season 1 and 2, Right. Just chopping it up and shit. It don't matter. But it's a little different when people can see you. Yeah. And this, just so people know, I've never done video anything online for the most part. Been in a music video or 2 as kind of a background player, but this will be my first time doing any kind of live stream and shit. So I don't look at myself often on video. Well, the video thing's crazy that like podcasting in the last few years, like you just had to have video or like no one cared anymore. And it's weird because podcasting is an audio medium. I listen to podcasts for fucking 10 years without videos or whatever. And now I'm the same way though. Like with no video. The same ones I would just listen to, I also want to watch them just talk. Now you want to watch it to a fucking screen, and you're like, it doesn't even fucking matter. So it's weird. It don't, but it's the way of the world, man. I do think you can get like body language and tones better. Like you can kind of tell when someone's being sarcastic, stuff like this. So like, I mean, I do think there are benefits to it. But it's crazy. It is crazy how much it's changed. And it's a lot more work too. I will say that compared to the way it used to be. I'll tell you what I don't like about it from a fan standpoint. And this isn't for your podcast because I had already seen y'all. So I knew what y'all look like. I could match voices to faces. Right. But there's certain podcasts I listen to where I've already come up with how I think the person looks. And when I fuck around and see the video and they look the complete opposite, it really throws me off. Yeah. And almost that's happened to me a few times. It can almost make me not like the podcast as much. I'm like I'll get like an example. Like one podcast I listened to, I was like, oh, that one guy, he's definitely a dark-skinned black guy. Like I'm picturing his facial hair and shit. Every time he talks, that's what I picture. Right. And then I see him and he's fucking light-skinned and no facial hair. And I'm like, you just fucked me up. Yeah. Like your voice did not give that. That's happened to me on a few different podcasts over the years. Reconcile that shit. Yeah, because I listen to a lot of basketball podcasts and video game podcasts, and for years I would do them like just audio, and then you start watching the videos, and you're like, Tom Havishrow is fucking bald. I thought Tom Havishrow would have like just normal white guy brown crop top, and you like get a fucking stuck on it or whatever. Yeah. It's it does like. You can't get over it. Like it's the one guy like I'm talking about that I imagine differently. I can't look at him when he's talking. Something that like if I'm watching the video really fucks with me, and I don't think anyone had to do it for my podcast because I talk really fast. And the reason I do, I mean, I've always talked fast since I was fucking 3 years old or whatever. Whenever my memory started. But when I listen to podcasts, I listen to them a lot on like 1.25 or 1.5 speed. So I'm listening to podcasts fast. So I think that's why I also talk fast on mine. But then now that they're moving to video, so like Bill Simmons, I'll listen to Bill Simmons' podcast for 10 years or something like that. Loved it. And then I watch his videos and he sounds drunk on the videos because it's his normal speed. But I've listened to him so long.
at one. So now I have to watch his YouTube videos at 1.5 speed, or else I think he's drunk. And so it's fun. It's fun.
It almost like normal speed is way too slow once you
I'm
slow
like
it
the
down.
fucking Flash, bro. I gotta listen fast. Now I was gonna do the TV segment here. We've already took up over half the time on this, so I'm gonna make a call. We're gonna save that for segment 3, and we'll bring TV talk in there, and then we'll go here. I mentioned the Flash. I did see the Superman movie on opening day, actually.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not.
What you thought about it?
Yeah, I'm not a huge.
I know you got feelings about superhero.
Yeah,
movies.
I'm not a huge superhero fan. To give some of my history, people. Growing up, of course, I liked Marvel over DC, like when they were cartoons, like when there weren't fucking movies.
As you
should.
And
then X-Men movies were awesome. I love those. And then I basically enjoyed, in general, comic book movies. Not like a huge nerd person, because I don't read the source material, but I enjoyed them well enough as like action movies. And then when The Dark Knight, or actually when Batman Begins became huge, and The Dark Knight even more so, and The Dark Knight Rises again, I just thought that trilogy was a little overrated. And I was like, I don't know if I necessarily need the groundage. Now, I do understand The Dark Knight, like the second one in the trilogy, is an amazing movie standalone without the context of superheroes or what. Like, it is really good. I totally agree with that.
Yeah,
but I remember just thinking in that moment, like, I don't need everything super grounded and dirty and gritty. I mean, that just wasn't necessarily my thing. And I loved Iron Man, came out the same year. And I remember being like, I think Iron Man's where it's at. And then I kind of really liked Marvel movies, the first phase of like everyone's just first movie. And I was really into it. I watched up through the first Avengers, and then I said, I'm done. Like, I don't care. Like, I was through the Avengers.
The team up was too much.
No, it wasn't even too much. It was like, there it is. That's it. That's the finale. Now I'm fucking done. Like, I don't want to do anymore. They're coming out with fucking 2 movies a year, now TV shows every year, and I refuse to buy Disney Plus. I still haven't. And so I just was like, this is a good checkout spot. So I just quit watching. It wasn't against anything. I just kind of quit watching them. And then as far as the DC side, I didn't really like Man of Steel so much so that I tried to watch like 8 or 9 times, and I fell asleep halfway through the movie every time. I was like, this fucking sucks. Like, I just couldn't do Man of Steel. I didn't care about any of the like new Batman that had Ben Affleck. Like, I just didn't. None of that really spoke to me. I just didn't care about it. So I'm not even saying it's bad. I didn't even watch it. Didn't even want to watch it or anything like that. But it was just all dark and gritty too.
I'll say it was bad.
Yeah, I just haven't seen them.
I didn't like it.
I don't know.
I'll say it was bad.
And then when I saw the first trailer for the new Superman, the one here that James Gunn has directed, who's the guy that made Guardians of the Galaxy, which I did see that. So whenever that came out, I did watch that one. It was pretty good. And I was like, yeah, I'm kind of excited. I'm excited to see this because he just had a more colorful palette. And, I was like, just from a movie going standpoint, this looks fun. Like, it's just bright and shit. I don't know. We'll see how it is. And me and the wife got, for Christmas, got a movie theater gift card that we haven't used all year. I mean, it's fucking July. We haven't went to the movies yet. And we love the movies, but just nothing's come out.
That's surprising.
Yeah. The Sinners came out and I really wanted to see it, but we lost power. Our movie theater lost power the opening weekend of Sinners. And so it just wasn't open. Like, we got hit by a tornado. And then I never got around to seeing it.
Shit.
But I did want to see it. So anyway, we go and see Superman. We go early Friday morning. Our job just been fucking canceling Fridays off work. We got a new big boss, and he's just like, fuck it. No work on Friday. It's awesome. So we were like, hey, let's go to the movies. And
nice.
So we went to the movies. Not that full. There was only probably like 15, 20 people. But this is also at like 11:30. On a Friday morning, so I kind of know how many people were supposed to be there. Also, the movie theater I went to had like 1 million showings of the movie. Like, every hour there was a different showing of it. So they met either way, not many people, but we watched it. I think it's like an 8, 7 or 8 out of 10. Maybe even 7.5, like, I don't think it's amazing. So I guess that's what I'm going to get to. I see people talking about it and they're like, this is the greatest superhero movie ever. And I see people absolutely hating it. Now, I personally do like it better than the Man of Steel sort of Superman. Now, I think Henry Cavill looks a lot like, Clark Kent or whatever, but this guy does too. So it's just like, well, that's a fucking wash either way to me, And so now, the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel actress is Lois Lane, so I'm obviously going to love her. And then someone from Righteous Gemstones is Jimmy Olsen. So I like it. Like, I knew all of the side character, actors from stuff. And now the movie just kind of starts. Like, there is no intro. This was not an origin story. It just fucking starts and you're going,
nice.
And
I like that.
Now, I do think Stuff like the super robots, I don't know what the fuck they're called in the comics, like that seemed like a little much. I think the super dog was awesome. It honestly, throughout the movie, they just kept using him, and you would forget. You know what I mean? It was just same gag over and over. It was like a fucking Family Guy episode where it's like you would just no way they're gonna do it again. And they did, but it would work, and you're like, oh my god, I can't believe they fucking used the dog works again. You know, whatever. And so now there was a big part of it. Like, there's a lot of different threats to the movie. I'm not gonna try to spoil too much, but one of the threats is like there's a dimensions opening and gonna swallow stuff. I just think they could have took the whole dimension storyline out. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't think it added that much, and it was just like there to add the like space visuals from Guardians of the Galaxy that James Gunn does. But I'm like, I don't really know if that was necessarily needed. But overall, I think the movie was good, and because I think Superman is a really boring character typically because he's just so powerful or whatever. This Superman doesn't seem that powerful, or at least he's getting his ass beat in this movie. And then also, like, because he is so good and wholesome and he wants to do the right thing, as opposed to like the Man of Steel guy, he was always like on the borderline of going Injustice Superman, where he's like, what if I was evil or whatever, where I'm like, well, that's not an interesting Superman. Yeah. Superman's interesting because he has all the power in the world to do it, but he has this moral compass that won't allow him to do. Like, that is the conflict. Yep. Like, I don't understand how you're going to get rid of one of those things and then be like, this is interesting. It's like, Superman's hard to be interesting. And if you're going to take away the whole, like, I don't know. And so one thing I also do have to
now it's impossible
go really hate on is the casting of Superman's parents. Now, I understand people that aren't from around where I'm from, where you're from. For some reason, the people, Smallville's in Kansas. People don't know that's where Superman was raised, by these Kansas farmers. They talk like they're from fucking country Mississippi. Boy. Like, it sounds so Southern.
Oh, they went way too
And it's
country.
like, what the fuck are you doing? This isn't how people from Kansas sound. Like, it's crazy. And it does not work at all. But
yeah, Kansas is proper country.
Yeah, that's just they're Midwest.
Like
they're Midwest. Country. Yeah. So that's my really only complaint
Midwest. That's
that I did not like the casting of his parents. But maybe I love the TV show Smallville. When I was in high school, it'd come on after school, like on ABC Family, and I'd throw it on or whatever. And so maybe I just love the casting of the Smallville parents so much that I'm like, these aren't my Clark Kent parents. But it really did. It was weird. It was an odd thing.
I never did watch Smallville. It's on my short list of like, I gotta watch it one day.
Right.
That, Sopranos, The Wire, they're all on.
Yeah, I mean, The Sopranos and Wire should definitely be way higher up on it than Smallville. Smallville is my and I wish I wouldn't have told my wife this because now I can't watch it. But it is my, like, when I'm super depressed, I'll just watch Smallville, and not even because it's like I didn't love it like that when I was here, but I've seen them, all, and it's just. It's very similar to The Flash, place. You know what I mean? Where it's just like a different enemy every episode. The fucking thing happens. It's not even that good. Half the episodes are too campy to even enjoy, and they're like bottle episodes because that's, it was the era of 25 episodes a season or whatever. And so it's just junk. And so there is something about it that it's like mindless.
You can just have it on.
And
you have it on and you don't really miss anything if you miss anything.
I haven't watched it in a long time because I haven't had Hulu in a little while, and that's where I used to watch it at. But, yeah, I think it's fine. It's not good. I wouldn't call it great television, but I think it's better than The Flash. I watched season 1 of that.
It's there. Yeah, Flash, that's like, I don't know, that's like a punishment show for me. I got so far in it that I felt like I had to finish it.
Right.
Like I had to get, I think probably, which is way too far. I think I got like season 5 and I started being like, all right, I don't even enjoy this anymore. I'm just watching it because they keep making seasons and I need to complete it.
Powell loved The Flash and Green Arrow, so I think he was right there with you. I think he watched all of them.
You know what? I always imagine in my mind Powell looked like Cisco before I ever saw what Powell looked like. So that's always who I would picture whenever I would hear Powell, and then getting to see him on the pod once he was on the first video one. I was like, okay, I wasn't that far off. He's way more chiseled than Cisco, but that's why I always picture when I thought about Powell talking.
Yeah, Cisco's like 5'2". I think Powell's like 6 foot, 5'11", something. So they're a little different there, but they have a similar energy, let's say,
Yeah, the energy.
I will say my favorite joke I've made on this podcast so far is my Will Smith being bisexual joke to Powell. I thought that was a chef's kiss moment for me. So just behind the scenes out there for everybody.
Because it didn't feel like it was leading to that being the question about Will Smith. But then you just like you sharp turned it.
Good.
Like you're going down the road, it's like, oh, it's gonna be music, and you just sharp turned it. And it was like, oh, that was good.
Yeah.
Good shit.
That was a pretty good setup.
And it felt like it caught him off guard just enough, like not too much to be like, oh, you shouldn't have said it, but like just enough to be like, oh, you son of a bitch. I didn't see that.
There was a few weeks in my life that the word gay was making a comeback, and it was around the time Pow Wow had come down. So I'd felt bad earlier or later in that episode because I called something gay, and I could tell like he didn't. I don't know. It might have not have been as like he wasn't as super as comfortable as I thought maybe, and so then I think somehow bringing that one back, I don't know. It all worked. I think it all worked out. So I mean, he wasn't offended ever. He was just drunk and eating cake.
Nah, it didn't seem like it. It didn't seem like it.
All right. You know what? Let's play a song, and then when we get back, we'll get into our TV talk. I didn't plan on doing jingles, but we do have one that maybe I could put in post, or you will sing it or something. We'll see, but we'll worry about that later. But next on the list is, I'm pretty excited. We finally got old Bradster X song back on here. He had one coming out.
Hey, new BXC.
That's right. And the name of the song is Greed. And it is on an A2thaMo Makes Beats beat as well. And I even made the cover art. I didn't make it. AI made it, but I typed it in and it gave me that. And so
you did the human work.
That's right. So you will notice the artwork on this song as well. So, and this is a very Brad song, you know, and I'm sure a lot of things are, and Brad honestly has about 5 styles I associate with him. So this is just one of those. So, but it just sounds like when I had made this beat or sent it to him, I was like, oh, I can already imagine what Brad's going to do. And I think this one matched up, you know, well to what my imagination was. So let's give a listen to Greed by Bradster X. Let me turn this up so Soko hears it. And
Bradster X, BXC,
check
what
it
up?
out.
Let's face it, you know, you were dealt a shit hand. But sometimes your luck can change. I mean, I can't tell you how many times I was, you know, I started with a shit hand and I ended up with a, you know, a full house. I mean, the key is you gotta hang in there, man. You gotta keep placing your bets, Boom.
Took over the older I got everything to gain, nothing to lose. Wanna find out? Ever dig yourself a ditch you couldn't climb out? In the midst of it, just sitting on my couch. Do anything for a come up, get $1, try to double, but I'm only finding trouble. Tried so many jobs and been on the side hustles, been on the grind, shuffling behind, but inside it's all spending more than I make. I wanna count my money up, but according to weight, I got that collector's buzzing like a hornet invades, but I ignore them till in court say I'm poor in debate. It's all it's like the more that I get, it's not enough. Keep going till I spend it all quick. I want more, but I got what I need. A good girl with me and weed, but money's what I fiend. Motherfuck, I got I'll do anything for cash. All I think about, I want it bad. When I got no money, I get sad. Do what I gotta do, don't care if anybody mad. I'll do anything for cash. Want it now, want it fast. Do what I need for a bag. Chasing money that I lost that I never really had. Try to save a bit, but I can't. I want my pockets so stuffed, start splitting my pants. But I got problems with the car, getting to work is a chance. I still make it like it's perfectly planned, because I'm all about when I wake up, homie, $signs in my eyes like my favorite emoji. Come for you straight, take what you owe me. One look, got you shook, get cooked like elbow macaroni. It's all ups and downs when I move around crypto, but I'm pretty sure this one will hit though. Then I bought a scratcher at the get-go. I know that I should quit though. My life is such a shit show, and it's all because of one day I'll be rich, either that or die poor in a ditch. Think I was born with a glitch, fight for it till I'm sore and I'm sick. Waking up every morning ready for war in this bitch, all for I'll do anything for cash. All I think about, I want it bad. When I got no money, I get sad. Do what I gotta do, don't care if anybody mad. Fuck you. I'll do anything for cash. Want it now, want it fast. Do what I need for a bag. Chasing money that I lost that I never really had. I'll do anything for cash. All I think about, I want it bad. When I got no money, I get sad. Do what I gotta do, don't care if anybody mad. Fuck you. I'll for cash. Want it now, want it fast, bitch. Do what I need for a bag, chasing money that I lost that I never really had.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good. Greed is right. Greed works. Greed clarifies, cuts through, and captures the essence of the evolutionary spirit. Greed in all of its forms. Greed for life, for money, for love, knowledge, has marked the upward surge of mankind, and greed is good.
Bradster X with Greed.
Greed is good. Shouts out to Bradster X, Greed, which I officially always pair up with me and Brad's song Paid. Anytime I added it to a playlist, which I did make sure to add it to a few, I have Greed and Paid right there by each other. I feel like they're related in
I
a
agree.
way.
I agree. Like those two and a little bit of the 00 SoCo 7 or whatever it was called. Because it's the same era, I guess. But I know they don't necessarily connect.
It is. They all fell within that same. They recorded within that same time frame, I think.
So only I would know this, or y'all. So I guess maybe it wouldn't make sense for y'all listeners, but for us in the know.
You got to get into the lore. You got to get into the background.
All right, so
Internet
something that happens
friends.
every time we have SoCon, maybe not every time, but most of the times, is we have to talk about TV shows because I'm a big TV show lover. You watch TV shows. Last week, you haven't heard this episode yet, but I did every Apple TV show that I've watched since I've been gone. And and so that was a lot of them. But I just looked at my list of all the TV shows. I was like, holy fuck, there's so many. So I did all the Apple TV shows over there. Go back, listen if y'all missed that one. And so I'd recommend many of them to you. I think I have even on messages while I was gone, like, hey, I'm watching this. You would love this. So, listen to that. You'll get some recommendations. And I know it's another app to. And I was
disappointed when I learned they were all on Apple TV because that's one of the few streaming platforms I don't have. I was like, God damn it.
It's so weird. I mean,
it might be a while.
I understand you got the shitty great, stuff like Peacock or whatever, but that's such a waste of money compared to stuff that's putting out premium, good stuff.
Look, man, as a wrestling fan, Peacock and Netflix, they got me as long as they got
that's a good little place to start. I mentioned a few episodes ago, I tried to watch the first 2 Netflix Raw episodes. It's like, maybe this is what brings me back. And I just thought it sucked. And I'm not trying to be mean about it. I'm just like, I don't even understand how, even knowing it's fake, I understand as a kid, when you're starting out, you don't really know it's fake and you're kind of learning it through that. And even then, it's still like fun stuff's happening. But like, even knowing, like, it makes it almost like I'm judging it more. Like, you should have done better there. I mean, you fucking should have choreographed. Like, you know what I mean? You're like judging it in a different way. Like, oh, the storyline should have been better because, and so I just really was disappointed. I was like really expected more out of it for some reason.
No, I can get that.
Yeah. And I think Hills might have just set it up.
I was thinking about that the other day too.
I loved Hills, so maybe I was just coming in hot or whatever.
I think a lot of people, like, if you were fans of like a certain era of wrestling, like there's certain people that like the Hulk Hogan era and hated the Attitude era and just there's no bringing them back. There's people that like both and then stopped after the Attitude era and there's no bringing them back. I just think unless you stuck with it, which is a punishment at times, it's really hard.
That makes sense.
It's really hard to like just jump in and think you'll like it because you fell in love with a certain era and that shit's dead. Like, there's no era that can ever be bought back for just because everything's different. Like, it'll never be able to be bought back to what we originally loved about a certain point. So unless you stuck with it and, stuck through the awful, horrible times too, it's no reason to even try to jump back in.
Well, I think what I could be into in wrestling, this is why I gave it a shot, is because the things I like when I go back and then the things that you do see clips of is like the mic work, right? People talking shit, being funny or whatever. It's not the wrestling I don't even care about, but the other. And then so I go to watch those and then like CM Punk's talking about like 45 minutes of just like, holy shit, this is boring as shit after a while. You know what I mean? Like, so it even like what I think my idea would be of like, this could be cool. Like, let's just people be funny. Like, and it'd be a entertaining thing because I guess there's that physical aspect that limits your talent availability, sometimes. And And then Jey Uso, I remember also being a big, because I knew he was just a huge deal. I didn't know I've never seen him wrestle or anything. And he comes out and has this huge pop. And he was like really bad in my opinion when I watched it. And I was like, oh my God, this is crazy. So.
Yeah, it doesn't always translate. The popularity and the talent don't always translate to each other.
But anyway, enough wrestling talk. We don't need that dumb shit around here.
We don't need a wrestling segment. I
have a bunch of TV shows. I'll start off, and then we'll go back and forth, and we'll see what happens here. First, I'm gonna go with is a HBO show. I think they're going back to being called HBO Max. The Max thing. Who knows if that's true or not? But it was season 3 of a show I really loved called White Lotus. And even if you're a long time listener, I'm sure you'll remember me talking about first and second season. It's a show where it's set like at a resort in a destination someplace, and then there's like multiple families or couples or people or whoever that you're kind of following them while they're on this week vacation, and then all the storylines entangle over that thing, and it's basically like a mini series. It's like an 8 to 10 episode mini series of like. And then you kind of are just along for the ride. But because season 1 was so successful, they did a season 2 and now season 3. But they're not really connected. Each season's its own thing. So season 3 was, I believe, in the Philippines or Thailand, maybe Thailand, something like that, right? Some Asian-ass country. And I love season 1 and 2. I think season 2 is my favorite after watching all 3. It's set in Italy, but this one has like a really good cast. It has like Walter Goggins and dude from fucking Harry Potter movie. There's all kinds of famous people in it or whatever. But the first episode, I guess, is a big point. You always see a dead body at the beginning of the season, so someone dies. So like the whole season, you're like, who's gonna die? And that's kind of what you're watching. Waiting for that to happen. And then there's like lots of like. Misdirections and shit like that, that are all lead to nothing and stuff like that. So it's a good little show, and it's, filmed on location, beautiful, views and things like that. So if you're watching like on a good TV and you like I remember, I think that's a lot. When I was in college, me and some fraternity brothers loved Lost, and we would get together and watch Lost. But like a thing that was great about the TV show Lost was it looked so good. Like TV shows didn't look like movies, at that time. And so
big budget. That was like one of the first big budget shows on network.
I think
TV,
it was the last big budget show on network TV is what they claimed when it ends. Like they're like, no one will ever spend this much money on location and film and all this shit. I don't know if that's true, but that's what they claimed at the time. But yeah, so White Lotus, looks good. I do think season 3 isn't as good as the previous seasons. But he already has season 4 written, and they're going to film it. I'll watch it. It's not going to stop me. It was still good. I just think season 1 and 2 are so good that it had a lot to live up to. But shout out White Lotus.
Nah, that's understandable. I think I watched season 1 of that one. I never went back for the other seasons, but I do recall enjoying it a great deal.
Yeah, and season 1 was filmed during really COVID, and they used the 4 seasons out of Hawaii because no one was going on vacation. And then so through that, they now have a deal with 4 seasons. So every season is filmed out of 4 seasons. So if you're seeing it, it is a place you could go stay at. Dope. It's expensive as fuck, but it also shows off their fancy place. I never probably could afford any of this shit, but
their fancier side.
It's pretty cool.
Probably one of their higher end locations.
Yeah. And then the guy that created the show, Mike White, he made School of Rock, or he wrote School of Rock. He is Jack Black's roommate in School of Rock, in case you're curious. And he's also been on a season of Survivor because he's a Survivor super fan. So like he's like a weird guy. I've looked up a little bit on him, and so he comes. And he's just a good writer, just creates his show, and HBO lets him do his thing. So anyway, cool show. What do you got first on your list, Oko?
All right, so number 1. So what's good is a show that I really thought you would enjoy, but I know you said you don't have Hulu, so you may not be able to get to it. But it's called Deli Boys, Deli.
I've seen the preview for it. It does look good.
And it's a comedy mixed with like a crime. Not crime drama, but I guess a crime comedy.
There's a little action in it.
I won't say too much about it, but it's a little action in there, action adventure comedy kind of thing. It's got the raunchiest, parts of it. Just good though. Overall, good show. I enjoyed having a show to watch that wasn't a white show or a black show. This is a Indian family, which is the deli part is 2 parts. There's the, deli, the country,
New Delhi,
country, and then there's deli, like an actual deli that you work in and sandwiches and shit like that. But overall, it ends up being, like one of those shows where it's, there's a legit corporation and then there's a criminal empire behind it, and that's what the whole thing is about. These two brothers that learn that there's a criminal empire behind their parents' legit organization, and just getting into trouble with that, but. I enjoyed it. I liked it a lot. Hope they do a season 2. Don't know where they would go with it, but so far it looks like it just may be a one and done. But Deli Boys, I would definitely
and I actually
recommend. I almost said represent. I don't represent it.
I represent it in my hood. I am probably about to get Hulu again. I just haven't had it for the last hour long. But King of the Hill revival is coming out, and I do have to watch that.
That's
I have a couple issues going into it, like I don't know, we'll see, but I have all the faith in the world in Mike Judge and Greg Daniels, so if they're involved, I do think they'll do it right.
They can pull it off.
We'll see. All right, let's see. Next on my list, another. I think I actually mentioned, I'm going to do really fast because I mentioned this one a couple weeks ago as just like a preview. It's a show called Common Side Effects. It's an Adult Swim show, but it's on HBO Max. And I do think you particularly, Soko, would love this show. It is, I just mentioned, it's from the animators of King of the Hill. And I think Greg Daniels, who made the US Office and worked on King of the Hill, and all that stuff, he worked on this as well because he voices a guy. So one guy sounds just like, or I'm sorry, Mike Judge and Greg Daniels. I think both the people who worked on King of the Hill worked on this, and you can hear their voices. Like you're like, wait, this guy sounds like Hank Hill, and it's like, well, yeah, because that's the guy or whatever, And so, but the animation's kind of awkward, but it's basically a guy has found mushrooms that can cure everything, and then the like big pharma and the CIA and everyone's after him because of this, and he just wants to cure the world, like he's a good sweet man. And then it's like you don't normally see a cartoon that has like a real story. I mean, normally cartoons are like serialized, like we're like every episode's like a new little plot or whatever, but this one's like it's like a real TV show, right? Like there's something about that's very fun, and my wife loved it. I mean, it was her favorite show when we were watching it. So, and I know you also like adult animation, so
that's dope.
I think you would like it a lot.
Yeah, I'm still way into adult animation for sure.
All right, what do you got next?
All right, next on my list, this is a Netflix show. Came out around pandemic time. I didn't know anything about it, but it's called the Santa Clarita Diet.
Oh, yeah, I've seen it.
With Drew Barrymore. Yep, I didn't know anything about it going into it. Recently got Netflix for Monday Night Raw, like we talked about. So I, just been adding shit to the list. And I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. And I started it and I couldn't stop. I was like, oh, man, I really dig this show. But for those who don't know the premise, it's basically modern day zombie.
So it's like a zombie comedy.
Mindless. Yeah. Not mindless, though. Zombie with a brain still. So I thought it was cool. I liked the way it was done. I want to say it was 3 seasons. I might be mistaken on that.
I know for sure I watched the first season and I was kind of into it. And then halfway, somewhere during the second season, I kind of fell out of it. And I never watched the third season. But the reason I watched because the main male is Timothy Olyphant, and he's like one of my favorite actors. And so I was like, cool. God, I got to watch it. And then it was good. But I think because it has basically a gimmick, right? The gimmick's the zombies and that's the show. It's a comedy, zombie comedy. But eventually I felt like it was just the same thing over and over, And so I was like, all right, I'm kind of done with this. So I can see why it didn't have a season 4, I guess, is what I'm saying.
But he definitely, he brought like his comedy, like elevated it, like to being beyond like the whole zombie storyline. Like,
I was glad to see him in a comedy because he does a lot of guest spots in comedy shows or whatever had, but he's the most famous for Deadwood and then Justified. So he's more famous for like his serious roles.
Yeah.
And so
for being serious action roles.
Yeah, it was fun to see him in a comedy movie or comedy show.
Yeah, he pulled it off very well. All right,
next.
I liked him and I liked their main couple that was like their adversary real estate couple or whatever. That was always good interactions.
All right, next on my list is season 2 of The Rehearsal. Season 1 of The Rehearsal was one of my all-time favorite things back during COVID times. when it came out, and season 2 I was excited about. I love Nathan Fielder. People don't know he had the show called Nathan for You on Comedy Central back in the day that I just loved. He is just a weird autistic guy that's very funny. I don't know if he's autistic, but that's where he comes across. And
he seems like he is, but I don't know if it's official.
And so when season 2 was coming out, I was very excited about it because season 1, I felt like, so we don't know, season 1, the rehearsal, it starts off like he's going to have people that have like anxiety issues. Like this guy has an anxiety issue going to bars or going on a date or something. So like they rebuild the whole bar and then they like have the guy practice it. And then so it's like he's rehearsing for this thing and then they have him do the real thing at the end. And that's kind of the gimmick of the show. But then it got shut down by COVID, or it made it seem that way. That might have been all part of the fucking artsy act of it. I don't know. Nathan Fielder's one was like, you don't know what you're seeing is real or if it's all part of like the work, it's like wrestling or whatever. And so it all gets shut down. You
can't tell if he's being serious or not a lot of the time.
And so like season 1 transforms into like him. It's about like him and him rehearsing on getting a family and dating and doing all the show. It gets like fucking weird as shit, but like good. So I didn't know what season 2 would entail, but basically he's been obsessed since season 1 and 2 with becoming a pilot and airplane crashes. And so, which is like very timely because he didn't know all these ones were happening in the news when he was filming this. He filmed it over a couple of years. And so he becomes obsessed with that. And then you basically learn that he's been taking pilot lessons for years. He becomes a licensed pilot. And then, he just goes on. Now there's episode 3 is a little weird. He does a biopic about the Soli guy who landed the plane, and then he dresses up as him, and it's funny, but it's also weird. I'll see that would turn people off. But anyway, the season was weird as fuck. He gained so many fans. Like to me, before this season 2 of the rehearsal, Nathan Fielder was a little more niche. Like I liked him, and I knew a few people that would, you'd see a meme here and there, but he really wasn't that popular in my opinion. This airplane thing really, I think, took him to whatever next level of celebrity where he, a lot of people, I just saw him everywhere after that, so maybe it's just the algorithm really honed in on me, but I think it's good, but it's hard to even explain or even recommend unless you like weird documentary shit that's like funny, but also like awkward. I mean, cringe and awkwardness is like what the fucking show lives on. So you gotta like find that entertaining. Like he has this guy that on one episode that, has a hard time talking to girls or whatever, and who's a pilot. And so he has like 20 people that follow him around and just repeat what he says. And it's like to give him confidence, but it's like so outrageous that it turns the corner to being like, this is amazing. Real, right? It's so good. I love it. So shout out The Rehearsal season 2. Don't necessarily recommend it to everyone, but if you're weird enough, you will like it.
Yeah, when I heard you say there was actually a weird episode of a show that's already weird, I was just like, damn, how do you get to be the weird
I told my wife after episode 3, I looked at her and I said, I do think if people were watching this season 2 just new because it is like about airlines and stuff, and they were like, oh, this is interesting. This is like, because it seems real, like it isn't that funny in the first 2 episodes. And then it goes that one. I'm like, I think this would turn a lot of people off. Like, I think a lot of people quit watching after episode 3, but that's just my guess. I have no, of course, stats to back any of that up. All right, what you got next?
All right, number 3, I've got the Always Sunny in Philadelphia Abbott Elementary crossover.
Nice.
Really enjoyed that as a fan of both. I'd never really connected the two or thought they would put them in the same universe. I don't know if I should have known that or not going into it, but when it happened, I was very pleased, and I enjoyed the follow-up they did. I think they originally did it on Abbott, and then they recently did a follow-up on Always Sunny that showed their side of it as opposed to the Abbott side of watching them do weird shit. And I've just always loved Always Sunny. I feel like it gets better as it goes. If you start out with season 1, you may not ever get into it. But I feel like if you can hold on and, get into season 2 and 3, that you'll stick with it.
Well, I'm probably in like season 4 of Always Sunny, and it's one of the shows I never hate on it. It's like one of the best shows, like when I just see a clip. Like if a clip of it comes up on TikTok or whatever, I always watch it. I think they're hilarious. But as far as like sitting and watching whole episodes, I don't find it as funny for some reason in that. Like there are funny, and that's because I think there's funny moments in the show, but I don't necessarily know if I think like the whole thing. And it is one I wish I liked more. I just can't fake it, you know? So like, I think Dennis, super funny. Every time I see a clip of, you know, the implication or whatever, it's very good. Like they have a great highlight reel of clips. So you're like, God, this show's great. But every time I sit down and watch it, I'm like, there's some filler in here, you know, maybe a little bit. But yeah, I love it.
It's something about it takes me back to like the sitcom era of things, like the scene transitions and things like that. Like something about it, I just it takes me, it gives me like a nostalgic thing, like that little music they play between when they're doing their transition scene. Like I don't know that shit.
Yeah, and I think something I judge on that is it feels like they stole those exact sounds from Trailer Park Boys. And I know like it's probably just similar or what, or it was like a royalty free thing or something, you know, but I'm always like judgy of that aspect. Same reason even though I watched My Name is Earl, I was always judgy because I felt like they were just stealing the whole thing of Trailer Park Boys. I know they weren't. There was like a story to it that was different, but I was like, I feel like they're just stealing this shit. So
how's that saying go? Good writers write, great writers steal.
Artists, something. Yeah.
Something along those lines. Yeah, something along those lines.
All right, moving on our shows. Next on my list is Hacks, another HBO Max show. That's where all these are at on my list.
All right.
I've mentioned the first 2 seasons before. I think this was season 3 that just came out. If you told me it was season 4, I would believe you. I don't remember if this is season 3 or 4. The basic premise of the whole show is there's this old stand-up lady, you know, probably like a Joan Rivers, but not really because Joan Rivers, you know, is dead and stuff. So, but it's like, you know, an old stand-up lady that's in Vegas doing a residency. And that's like, you know, she's the queen of Vegas. And then there's like a young stand-up comic writer type person who ends up working with her, reinvigorates her career. And that's like season 1 or whatever. And I want to say season 2 is them doing it all living in Vegas or leaving Vegas. One of the two, I don't remember, something like that. Anyway, this new season is this old lady has gotten the Tonight Show. So through whatever reason, she's on the Tonight Show, and now they're going to be working at the Tonight Show. And that's the premise of the season. Now, I do think this new season of Hacks is the worst season by a lot. Like every time we watch it, I was like, I didn't even give a shit. So maybe I just, you know, am being negative for no reason. But that was my thought watching it. I was like, I don't know. I think Hacks kind of lost it a little bit. So it's okay. It's, you know, it's a comedy show, filmed well. You know, if you're in the girl power shit, probably work a little better with you. I don't think it's only for chicks necessarily, but I just don't think this new season was as strong. It wasn't as funny as some of the previous ones.
Now, would you compare the style of the show? Is it similar at all to the Marvelous Mrs. Maisel? Or is it like its own other genre?
Well, to me, Marvelous Mrs. Maisel is a period piece first, right? So, like, if I have to, like, tier the genres, to me, Marvelous Maisel is more like the number one thing is it's in the 1950s, 60s, whatever it is set in. And then the second thing is it's stand-up comedy, and then, you know, whatever. Whereas then this is more of, like, modern day. It's more lighthearted. You know, the main young girl is a lesbian, so there's a lot of, like, that shit, you know, what people would say woke shit, if you will. But also the old lady doesn't get it, so she pushes back on it. So that's part of the whole dynamic. I'm trying to think of what I would compare it to necessarily. It's probably I keep wanting to say Entourage, but it's not exactly that. But it's like some, you know, it's like it's about the business, if you will. You know, it's like about the comedy business,
gotcha.
Right?
Behind the scenes,
and so it's of course Entourage. Vince is fucking the bitches. That sort of stuff isn't happening per se. Even though I think the main lady does fuck Shooter McGavin on an episode. So you know. Shooter's gonna shoot.
Happy Gilmore 2. You gonna watch that?
I will. I'll probably watch Happy Gilmore 1 first. I have it on DVD somewhere around here, and then I'll watch it, and I'll probably be pretty disappointed. The only reason why I'm trying to be excited going into it is I love the TV show Workaholics, and the director of Workaholics is Carl from Workaholics. I don't know what his real name is, and he is directing Happy Gilmore 2. So it's like, I love Workaholics. Does that necessarily fit Happy Gilmore? Not exactly. You know, they are slightly different vibes, but obviously this guy probably grew up watching it, but you can't just do a straight like homage movie. You know, you have to make like a good movie. It's staying on its own. Yeah. Is how I feel. So I don't know. We'll see. I'll watch it though.
Yeah, I haven't disliked any of the Happy Madison productions that he's had on Netflix. I think he's got like the exclusive deal with them, but I ended up watching a bunch of those.
Yeah,
this year.
I need to get around to them because I do like early Adam Sandler stuff. I think that Jack and Jill movie came out, and then the Zohan movie, like, you know, there was that era where I was like, I think I'm done caring about Adam Sandler movies, and then I just never got back around to it. But I've heard like The Wrong Missy, which I don't think he's in, but his company made. Like, there's certain ones on Netflix I've heard are actually good, and so like I do need to go back and check them out.
I do think he's better at like just straight up adult comedies and not like the kind of
I don't like the like
parody type
I don't like
stuff.
The sort of Adam Sandler. You know what I mean? I don't need that shit. Like,
I like the, you know, real life can be funny when it's tragic.
Well, Big Daddy's my favorite Adam Sandler movie, but Waterboy's probably number 2. So I mean, there you go. You know, good serious movie. And there's some goofy, but Waterboy has heart, even if he is playing a mentally challenged person.
It does.
All right, I have 4 things left on my list. I don't know if you have anything or not, or where we're at, but
oh shit, I ain't got that many. I got one more, so I can wrap my end up now.
Go for it.
And mine was a go back to, and I got some honorable movies that I'll just mention. I don't have to talk about them, but I went back to a series that I watched years ago, probably 10 years ago. It was a Sci-Fi Channel show, which tend to not be the greatest.
Agree.
But this one I enjoyed. It was a remake of a UK show called Being Human, which followed a vampire, a werewolf, and a ghost. And that was they're the 3 main characters, but then they just got shit that goes on in the world of vampires and ghosts and shit like that around it. And I went back, and it was 4 seasons, and I'm just about done with season 4. I actually recently started that maybe a week or 2 ago. I finally got far enough away from it to where I don't remember a lot of the shit, so I could go back and just watch it again. And I still enjoy it. I really enjoy the actors on it. And the main, the one that plays the ghost, I've always had a thing for her. Don't know her ethnicity.
Don't need to know.
She's something else.
Fine by me. Yeah, I always had a problem with sci-fi shows leaning so heavily into fantasy. It's like, your channel is called Sci-Fi. Why are you have so many fantasy shows? Yeah. But that is what they did.
So much fantasy
at the end.
Yeah, it's their thing, and they do it. They do it pretty well.
Yeah, they pull it off.
I think they fail on a lot of their sci-fi stuff, so I think their fantasy stuff actually does hit more than it misses.
Well, good sci-fi, like, you have to like build a good world and then stick to the rules, and then have fans that like care about that stuff. And fantasy, you don't need all that stuff. You're just like, this happened and it's cool or whatever. So it's just slightly different. Well, yeah. All right. I'll try to go through these pretty quick. I have a couple I watched on Netflix. One was a TV show. I thought it was going to be a mini series, but then they announced a second season. I would recommend this one to you. It's called The 4 Seasons. It is The 4 Seasons was a movie that came out like in the 70s with some famous fucking old actors that I'm sure people know, but I don't remember. And it's a remake of that movie, but they're going to do it into a mini series. And it's got Tina Fey, Steve Carell. So Tina Fey is actually married to Will Forte, who's one of my favorites. I love Will Forte. And then Steve Carell is in it, and he's married to one of the ladies from Reno 911, the skinny one from Reno 911. I don't know what her name is. And then there's a gay black dude and his Brazilian husband guy. And basically there's these 3 couples. Most of them were friends in college. And then every year they go on vacations together is the premise. And so they're rich people type shit. And so in the first episode, Steve Carell's character is telling all the rest, like, hey, I'm going to get a divorce. I'm not happy. And then they're like, no, you can't do that. But that's what he does. And then the rest of the episodes are like them dealing with the fallout of one of their friend groups going through a divorce, and then has a new younger girlfriend that's like in her 20s or whatever. And so like, that's where all the comedy ensues. So each episode is maybe each 2 episodes are based on a vacation. They take 4 vacations in the year. So it's like the story takes place over a year, and it's pretty good. Now I would say, I just think it's good because it's, like I said, filmed very well, like it's a movie. It's got a lot of actors I know: Will Forte, Steve Carell, Tina Fey, that I'm used to seeing in good stuff. So I think I'm giving a lot of the benefits. I don't know how good it would be to people that don't care about that, but me and my wife really liked it. Like it just, so it's well made, if you will. Now, I don't know if they needed a second season, but they're doing a second season. So shout out.
Now that you mentioned that premise, I'm pretty sure I got that on one of my lists. I can't remember what app, but I feel like I did run across that. That premise sounds very familiar with the couples and them going on like a vacation, having turmoil with one of them. Yeah, but it was a comedy, so I was wondering how they would make it funny.
It is, yeah.
So that's what made me put it on my list. I was like, how are they going to make this funny? It feels so serious.
Yeah, it's kind of like one of those dramedies, you know, like where it's more drama probably than comedy, but when you have like 3 great comedic actors, 4 really, because that lady from Reno 911's great. She just doesn't have as big of a role as the others in it. But I mean, Will Forte can't not be funny. Same with Steve Carell and Tina Fey. I do think they ride her, and she might have wrote the show. I don't know, but she's just a kind of a bitch in every scene. So like, it's hard. I'm like, she never gets the benefit of the doubt when I'm watching it because she's kind of a cunt all the time. But I don't know if that's like purposeful. You know, that might have been the point. So, all right. And then my favorite show of the year, I would say, what came out on Netflix. I'm a huge Shane Gillis fan. I feel honestly a little not ashamed about being a huge Shane Gillis fan. It's so basic, right? Like everyone loves him these days. He's the bro comic, if you will. He's like, if you're my age and white, you like Shane Gillis. It's pretty, I just feel like a basic bitch and loving him so much.
Blew up like around the time we were in college. I don't even remember his name anymore. But
Dane Cook. No. Shane Gillis is
Cook, that's it.
Way better.
Dane Cook.
Now, Shane Gillis, I'm taking a little tangent here, but to me, Shane Gillis I think he has a great stand-up. Some people do not like it, and I think like he'll call stuff gay, and people will be like, oh, you can't do that. But I'm like, I personally see it the way I see it. Like it's like there is like a tinge of satire in there, or like, know it's wrong, but he's saying it anyway. Like, I don't know. So like, I personally think it's great. I know he's my age, same humor style and all that. That's why I'm a big fan. But his like inspiration is Norm Macdonald. So like, to me, I think a lot of people just take his jokes. They don't understand. Like, he's kind of going for the laugh, or like the real laugh, even if the audience hates it, or whatever. So not always,
he's gonna go for it.
He just hosted the ESPYs recently, and I thought he killed it, but like, it's controversial online right now. People are like, he fucking bombed. And people are like, it was amazing. I'm on the it was amazing side. So say all this to say season 2 of his TV show, Tires, almost said The Wire. His TV show Tires came out. Now, season 1 of Tires, I personally like, but I have recommended the show to people, and some people are like, season 1 wasn't good, I'm not watching season 2. And I understand. That's how it was with The Office back in the day. People would watch season 1 of The Office, like, this isn't good. And then I think gets better, even though some people think it goes the opposite way. So anyway, season 1, Shane Gillis done with his own money. He put his own money up to film it. His friend is a director, McKeever, who like films, edits, directs, all that stuff. And then Steve Gerben, the other co-star of the show, like, he put it all together. It's like Steve Gerben's dad's auto body shop that they're filming at on the weekends. And they just kind of bootstrapped season 1 of the show. And then after it was made, they sold it to Netflix, and then it was fairly successful. And then Netflix put a bunch of money into season 2. So season 2's longer. They actually they have like guests like Vince Vaughn shows up in an episode and you're like, oh shit, and shit like that. So it's just way better. Season 2 is way better. It is like the full television show realized. But I do think you need to watch season 1 to get all the back story of it. It's not super important, but why wouldn't you watch it? It's like 6 episodes or something, and they're all short.
Yeah,
short show.
I've never been able to just jump into a second season of a show, even if season 1 is awful. Like, I gotta know what's happening.
Yeah, you got to. I agree. So anyway, I just think it's really good. I understand it's not for everyone, but it is in that just kind of classic comedy show style. Now, it doesn't have a laugh track, so it's not that sort of comedy show, and it's not exactly The Office, because The Office has the mockumentary thing where like they're talking to people to the camera on the side. It doesn't have that. So I mean, this is filmed just like a comedy movie from the 90s or whatever. I love all the characters. Some of the characters might take a second to grow on you, but in general, all the characters are great. You kind of understand the body shop. There's only like 5 people that work in the auto shop and stuff, so it's not like a lot of characters. And it's just them trying to keep their auto tire or their tire shop alive is what it becomes. And Shane's a mechanic, and then Gerby's is his cousin, who is the manager and who's like a little nerd, and Shane kind of picks on him. It's very good. I love it. Recommend it to everybody if you like the comedies.
Nice.
And then 2 shows I'm currently watching that I'll throw up here. Actually 3. I just didn't write the third one down. But they're currently airing. They're all reality TV shows. Alone is back. Alone starts every year, end of June. And I've been in Alone now for, I don't know, 7 years or so. I've been on Alone. Maybe not. Maybe 6. No. I would say because I watched it on my honeymoon. You know, I've watched it on our honeymoon. So I was like, we got the iPad. Alone started. So I know since before I got married, I was like, I knew of Alone. It's a History Channel show. They drop 10 people off in the wilderness and they get 10 items and they got to survive. They take cameras. They got to film themselves. And then whenever they want to quit, they hit a button on the satellite phone and they tap out. It's basically the premise of it. The majority of seasons are in Canada, like in the Arctic Circle and shit like that. But this season, they're doing it in a desert in Africa. And so it's way different. It's like they're not having to worry about the cold necessarily, but there's baboons that live up on the hill and there's like warthogs that can fucking impale them. And, you know, it's like,
baboons on the hill is crazy.
I know. That's how I would have tapped out. One guy started screaming at him. He's like, I'm going up there, show him who's boss. And you're like, oh my God, these motherfuckers are crazy. Nope. So, I don't think this season's going to last as long. I mean, it'll be the same number of episodes, but I don't think we're going to be there as long because like a guy got sick on the first day, like from the water, because the water's like fucking crazy, you know? And so,
that's the worst.
Yeah. So anyway, it's I love it. It like really tickles my white guy spots, you know? I do think any race could love it, but it does seem like a white guy show if I had to judge it from the outside.
Does it fall in that same like Naked and Afraid vein?
See, everyone does compare it to that. I personally don't like Naked and Afraid, but it is that type. I mean, that is what like the History Channel app's going to recommend you or whatever, you know, whatever app that you watch one and, you know, but I personally, because to me, Naked and Afraid's all about like, they don't have clothes and they're people, and it's like about the social part of the people being naked. And Alone's not about that. They're like given, they have items, they have a plan. They're going to be there for the whole season. They're not there just for one episode, you know, like they're trying to live there as long as they can. So I think it is different. Whereas a Naked Afraid, I think it's like they have to be there 2 weeks or 3, whatever their goal is. That's a different sort of thing, I think. So, but it is somewhat similar. Most people I know that love Alone, because I convinced a few people to watch it. Most of them do not like Naked and Afraid. That is my anecdotal evidence. And then my last thing, or the last two things, we got Paramount Plus recently, so I might be watching some shows on there, and that is because Big Brother is back. Every summer Big Brother starts. The true reason I watch it is because my mom watches it, and then we can talk about it sometimes. But also over the years, my wife's become a fan over years and years of watching it. Powwow used to watch them every season because his grandparents are into it, and it was like just a thing you do. And so I've kept it going. I've actually watched since season 1. I'm one of the rare people that was there at the beginning, but my mom watched it then, and I was watching it with her. And so I think it's gotten worse over the years. You go back and watch some early seasons, they are better. But this current season just started, and I think it's starting off good. So I'm excited to watch it. But if you need a reality, I mean, it's 3 episodes a week. This is always my pitch for it. And so like, I mean, that's 3 hours of content of TV shows a week you watch. If you can keep up with it, it is fun to like get that much info. You know, it's kind of like Love Island. I know has a lot of episodes a week as well, and people are really into that. I tried once. I just wasn't my thing.
Popular.
And
I'm not willing to have the fights that I know my wife will start to watch a show like that. Like, I can watch it and like separate it from real life. Like, she's always like, "You better not." I'm like, "Why the fuck would I?" It's like, we're just watching the show. Like, right. Shut up. So we can't watch shows like that.
And that's the thing I actually do like about reality TV shows, I think. Because I was thinking about this today before the call. Like growing up with my mom will yell at the TV, like the way guys yell at sports. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like my mom will like, "Don't vote for them," you know, or whatever. And you're like, "Mom, this was filmed like 2 days ago. Chill out." And so I would judge her a lot, but it was entertaining. But I like the like, it's similar to watching sports. It's like you're sitting with someone and you're like, "Hey, I think this person's going to win this," or "Oh, that was a dumb move." Like there is something about that you're talking about the thing happening. You know what I mean? That is part of the fun of watching it. And so we also, this next time I'm having is Ink Master. Since I got Paramount Plus, I love Ink Master. And there was a whole season since I haven't had it. And I was like, "Oh, we'll watch this. You know, we need something to watch."
Lucky you.
And I'm about halfway through the newest season. And I just like a reality show that's like, it's skill based, right? Like they do the thing and then you see and you're like, well, who's better? That one's better. That one's like, I just think there's something fun about that. And so, but then with me and the wife, we can argue over like, nah, that one's better than that one. Like there's something fun about that aspect, if you will. So I think that's what I like about reality shows, and that's why I don't really care about the ones that are just like, here's ladies yelling at each other. I'm like, oh no, I like the kind of competition part of it.
Oh, yeah, like the housewife shows.
Yeah, like I don't care about any of that.
All those.
Like if someone ain't going home or whatever, then I don't really care.
Yeah, there's gotta be some voting, some dating, or some challenges.
Like even like Jersey Shore, like I remember thinking like in the moment, like this is entertaining, but I didn't really care about it. And even Real World, same way. Like I watched Real World back in the day, but I didn't love it. But then the challenge happened and I was all about the challenge because someone's going home. They're going to fucking compete and someone's going home at the end of this. Like, I don't know. There's something about the competition.
Drama.
Yeah, I just like it. So shout out reality shows. All right, that's my whole list. It's a long one. I knew it would be a long one, but we did it.
Hey,
so
it's been a while. I'll shout out the 3 movies or 4 that I watched recently. Sinners, which you mentioned. I think you should definitely double back and check that out. Kind of a long beginning, a little boring, but it's to get you into the characters.
I love the story. I'm sure. That. I don't know if you think you've seen this or heard about it, but word is that Sinners is just the Blade movie that got canceled. So like Ryan Coogler's been trying to make the Blade movie with Marvel and it keeps getting pushed back and all this shit. And it's, about a vampire and it was supposed to be a period piece. And then Ryan Coogler went off, signed a deal with WB, wrote Sinners. And then the Sinners movie bought their wardrobe from the Blade movie.
The Blade
movie. Like those outfits were going to be in the Blade movie that Ryan Coogler was making. And then they end up being in Sinners. So it's like, I bet Sinners is basically the Blade movie. Like, I'm sure he changed some shit up. Like, Blade became the 2 Michael B. Jordan characters or whatever. But I'm sure it's very, like, real similar. So that's interesting to me.
Well, once you watch it, we'll talk about it again on here to see if you still think that once you see it. If it maybe feels similar or not. I don't know that you will. But I'll wait for you to see it. We'll talk about it again.
Well, even if it doesn't. Knowing that he wrote the Blade movie and then stopped it, got the costumes, and then made a vampire movie with black people in a time period. Like, he's at least was heavily inspired by whatever that Blade movie was.
Yeah, whatever that Blade was going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, and what other movies you got?
I got Woman in the Yard, which I think their campaign was to have, like, people online tell you not to watch it and that it was horrible to get people to watch it. Because I watched it, and it was not bad enough to, like, protest it the way it seemed like people were doing.
Right.
Like the day it came out on Peacock, like all you saw were tweets saying, don't bother, don't watch this movie. And it's like, I watched it, I'm like, it wasn't so bad to do that. So I think that was their way of getting people to watch it, which I guess that works. Like if you say a song is so bad that everybody don't listen to it, whatever you do, maybe you'll get like a certain percentage of people that just have to see it or have to hear it. I'm guessing that's what they did because the movie wasn't bad at all as far as horror movies go. Watched The Final Destination, their last movie, which I believe was part 6. I did enjoy it. I felt like it was one of the best of the 6 movies. Somewhere in the middle, they kind of lost me. I really liked the first one. And then like 3, 4, and 5 were just kind of like, all right. But this one, I definitely enjoyed. And it looped them all back together. So that's always fun when a series of movies can connect all the other movies with the very last one.
Right.
And last but not least, or it might be least, the movie Drop. You remember that coming out and being kind of a big deal?
No, not at all.
It's kind of like a thriller type movie. It was okay.
So you never heard of it?
I'll give it that.
Don't know what a big deal it could have been, but maybe.
I feel like it was constantly, all commercials now are on fucking streaming apps, so you might get the same commercial 30 times watching 2 shows. And I feel like I saw the commercial for that for like a whole month. Every show I watched, it was like Drop. Coming to theaters, blah, 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 blah. But it came on streaming. I watched it. It was decent.
Hell yeah.
But that's it for me on what's good.
Let's play a song and we'll come back and then we'll do some quick goodbyes and then a beat. That's the plan this week. And we're going to go with a song by Me and You that existed on, trying to remember what fucking album on Classy 2, maybe?
Classy 2, that's right.
So on Classy 2, we put out a song called Bath Salts. And
Very unique title,
Yeah.
for sure.
Now this is a perfect example of something about my style where I will just make a hook that means nothing but means everything, and that becomes the title or whatever. But it means nothing, like I'm saying. But it is also, if you understand it, you're like, oh, I do get it. So I don't know. It's hard I'm real judgy of myself, but that's my take on this, on the title on the song. So Bath Salts,
it always ends up working.
yeah, it works out in the end. And I had to send over to Soko to get on it, and I think it turned out pretty good. So let's give it a listen.
Yeah. Hey, Mo.
So cold, you know.
Good, classy.
I'm feeling classy too. Yeah. I'm feeling classy too. Yeah. I'm feeling classy too. Yeah. Mo, I'm feeling classy too. Come on, Mo. Hey, I'm feeling classy. Let's go.
My car like 20 years old. 06, yo, that ain't a damn thing chrome. No whoopers in it, ain't a thing vibrating. All I got are these bars, and I know they be hating. I want no more debating or talk about money. I know these dudes faking, it just sound funny. Ain't gonna make it rain, better keep it sunny. So ladies, could you hide your eggs like the Easter Bunny? I ain't tryna buy condoms and I can't afford an accident. Got money from streams, tryna wait till that's it. Right now, bank account barely balance it. But I keep buying pot, not sure how it's happening. You know, Mo, always finds a way. Only stacks that I got, all these bills I gotta pay. Don't care whatever it is that they say, you know me, I'ma do it my way at the end of the day. They end in they phase. These rappers used to be gangsters and now they all gay. And that's okay, y'all should be yourselves or play my music as those streams help. I'm not sure what's happening, but I know how I felt. Ain't nobody matching me or I'm taking they belt. Smoking you under the table, your girl smoking me under my belt. But it gets awkward rapping hypothetical bitches while married. She say she knows what the sitch is, but don't worry about it. She say that it's cool, but it's like I kinda fucking doubt it. Trying not to be a bad guy,
I try.
but sometimes I got bad thighs.
Bad dog.
Like don't ask why, or I turn to the guy that got high. Need the face off on bad sauce.
Bad sauce.
Need the face off on bad sauce.
Bad sauce.
Told y'all don't ask why.
Don't ask.
Sometimes I got bad thighs.
Bad dog.
Try not to be a bad guy.
I try.
Try not to be a bad guy.
I
But
try.
sometimes I got bad thighs.
Bad dog.
Like don't ask why, or I turn to the guy that got high. Need the face off on bad
Bad
sauce.
sauce.
Yeah, I'm feeling classy too.
Yeah.
Guess I'm walking around feeling just like you.
Yeah.
Just like who? Just like Mo. There's places y'all go that I just can't go. I can't be fake.
No.
I can't be fraud. I can't pretend that I'm down with y'all. Y'all follow along like walking the dog. I lead the pack. I left the trap. I bought a house. Got a bank account and a savings account. Tell me what you really getting so flagrant about. I try to be cool. I try to be calm. You meaning me harm. I blow like a bomb. Face ripped off like I'm on bath salts. Cause I got bad thoughts that I can't turn off. Belly fat that I can't burn off. So I got a dad bod and I put it on her. Get horny, get hard. Then put it in her. And put it in her. And nut it in her. Yeah, nut it in her. But who came first? Who came first? I really don't know. Like a dude with a purse, with a gun in the purse. Is he a kill her or a kill him? I really don't know. So I killed them. I really don't know.
Try not to be a bad guy.
I try.
But sometimes I got bad thighs.
Bad dog.
Like don't ask why, or I turn to the guy that got high. Need the face off on bad sauce.
Bad sauce.
Need the face off on bad sauce.
Bad sauce.
Told y'all don't ask why.
Don't ask.
Sometimes I got bad thighs.
Bad dog.
Try not to be a bad guy.
I try.
Try not to be a bad guy.
I
But
try.
sometimes I got bad thighs.
Bad dog.
Like don't ask why, or I turn to the guy that got high. Need the face off on bad
Bad
sauce.
sauce. I will rip your face off. I will. Like I'm on bath salt. You know the story.
You know.
Yeah, I got bad thoughts that I can't turn off.
You know.
Belly fat that I can't burn off.
You know.
So I got a dad bod that I put on her.
Bath Salts. A the Mo. Southern Com4rt.
Bath salts. A2thaShow. So cool. One of my favorite songs, favorite verses. I enjoy that song a lot.
Yeah, I think it's very
Should
good.
I? Who knows? But I do.
Yeah, I think it's got
Good
good
vibes
vibes.
from a
Good
dark
vibes
place.
there. There you go. Yeah, and
Bath
of
salts
course,
are nothing to joke about, kids, but it's
I've never
pretty
tried
fun
them,
to
but I
rap
would.
about. No,
all right,
can't
yeah,
say
so-
I have.
It's come that time. My goal in the guest episodes, what we've learned with Skinny, is we're going to try to do a little fourth, little quick segment, and then end with a beat. And that'll be something special for the folks.
I dig it.
So, what do you got going on, Soko? Anything to wrap up here?
Nah, man, nothing really. Same old, same old. Graveyard still doing things with the music that's already out. Still working on always putting new music out. Follow us on the Station Head app if you are an artist. Of course, you want to get played, send your music in to A2thaShow which I believe the email is still podcastwithmo@gmail.com, if I'm not mistaken.
They
But
both
you can
exist.
also request.
Both emails
It does
exist.
still exist.
Yeah.
Oh, nice. So there's also A2thaShow@gmail.com.
Correct.
Good to know. Good to know. And I'm sure he'll be advertising that heavy on the socials. So send your music in. And if you want to get your music played extra, log into the Station Head app, follow Graveyard ENT. We take requests daily. We've gotten to the point now where if we pass it around enough, each of us is able to keep the music going for a certain amount of hours. So we got 24 hours of music going. You get streams on Apple Music, Spotify. As always, the internet friends are always included. But for the most part, it's 50% Sir Nasty, 50% Southern Com4rt, and then the other 50% is internet friends and requests. So if you want to get in on that, holla at us.
150% of music there. Something that just reminded me of something I should have brought up fucking start this goddamn episode. I'm an idiot. Is we got a new TikTok. Now, the reason this happened, and this is a little inside information for people. I don't know if it's true, but you know, you're out there and people try to give you tips on growing your socials and all that shit. I used to get pretty good plays on TikTok, and then they all just died. And then over the years, you know, I had put music, and then I delete them, then I put new music, delete or whatever. So basically, every time you delete a video, you lose trust points with the algorithm, according to something out there. And so you're basically, whenever I deleted like 300 beats and then uploaded these podcast clips, they weren't getting pushed because I deleted the previous videos. And I was like,
I no longer trusted you.
So therefore, I made a new account, but now I get no views there because I'm new. So I'm just going to keep posting the A2thaShow clips on the A2thaShow TikTok. Share it, like it, follow us, all that stuff out there if you're on TikTok. The clips might not even be that good. You know, I just put it, there's these AI sites that let you do some free ones as long as they can put, you know, tag it all up with their shit. And I use that for now until if I ever earn money through this podcast, maybe we would like just buy the software outright or whatever. But anyway, they make the clips, they decide what's good, and then I will go through and download the ones that are actually not horrible, and then it does the writes the subtitles for, you know, all that cool shit. So kind of worth it.
I think the way you run it right now, man, I think it's cool. And they don't put their logos that big, so I mean, I don't think that part's a big deal. It doesn't take away from it. And it feels like every other TikTok. Like, it doesn't feel like, oh, here's a generic podcast TikTok post. Like, if I'm scrolling through, it looks just like something I should see on TikTok, if that makes sense. Like, that's a compliment, although it may not sound like it.
No, I know what you mean. So anyway, yeah, y'all go check that out. And then again, I think I mentioned it. It might have been before when we had a restart. I don't remember. But we do have the video game Let's Play first videos of those are out, and then more coming out of me playing college football 26. My first season on the Dynasty. So, and through there are times I didn't really want to talk because that's kind of, you know, eventually you get over it. And then I just put my beats for 2 minutes of just playing my beat while you're watching it. So that's really gonna be really cool or not cool. So we will see. We'll see how that goes.
Hey,
all right. My dog is trying to break out of this room at the moment. So I guess I need to wrap this up so she'll get out of here. Yeah. So I appreciate it, bro, you being on here. We're going to wrap up with a beat of mine that isn't up anywhere. It's just a newer beat I made. But yeah, anyway, we're going to end with this beat. Like I said, it's a new one I made. I love sampling stuff these days. This is one I don't think anyone could rap to, but it really does feel like an artistically complete song, if that makes sense. Like, this feels like a real instrumental you could listen to where I'm sampling some Russian ass song or something. So anyway, y'all enjoy it. Give me feedback. Let me know what y'all think of that. And again, SoCo, appreciate you. And Graveyard, of course, always supporting the podcast.
Always. Graveyard Entertainment. A2thaMo, A2thaShow.
Peace, bro.